Pete and John and the Two-Sided Podcast. Pete and John and Pete from the Two-Sided Podcast. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday live on stereo. Yeah.
Folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are the Two-Sided Pod. We are here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. We are also 4 a.m. Greenwich Beanwich sandwich time if you're across the pond, as some of our favorite people in the world are. If you're on YouTube, welcome. If you've not been here before, hold on to your butts. It's about to get weird. See, John? I'm like, there needs to be an intro. There needs to be something of a thing. And look directly in the camera. Make a lot of eye contact. Uncomfortable eye contact.
Yeah, make them feel real awkward.
Yeah. It's like one of those statues that you walk by in the haunted mansion where the eyes follow you no matter where you go. Exactly.
All right, brother. Grab that.
No, because Julie Prince is back in merry old England. We don't consider Dubai a place anymore. So fuck your time zone, bitches.
We don't even care if it's 7 a.m. over there anymore. You guys got a good night's sleep, I hope. We're not talking to you, but I think we found some fans over there. Put up some posters around. You're gonna get in trouble for littering.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't noticed by now, most of our jokes and or references are specifically to about 2 or 3 people around the world. So if you don't get them, well, they're not for you.
But you could work at it, and then you could be one of those people around the world. And I think that's what human growth is all about. Or human growth hormones. I think that's what bodybuilding's about. It's very good.
YouTube changed their setup, and so now it's difficult to. All right, where are the messages? All right.
Am I? What world is this in?
I think we got it.
All right, you can see your things. You got your screens up.
Yeah.
Folks, this is the thing that you're going to get only with the Two-Sided Pod, a live recorded podcast every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Greenwich Mean sandwich time, because we have no engineer. We have no real plan. We are working against our own selves in this production. The amount of alcohol we've had, weed we smoked, and then cold medicine, to say the least. It's an uphill battle. It's a Sisyphean task, folks. But we abide. Stay tuned. The shenanigans only get better from here.
Unnamed at this point because of the reference I'm about to make, a podcast that we both listen to or have listened to. I'm going backwards through their whole library, and at one point, one of the hosts said to the other, "You hear a little," and the other one's like, "Oh, you having a little reefer?" And the other one's like, "Dude, no." And
Right.
it made me think, wow, we're really open about all that, aren't we? We are in states where it's 100% legal, but we are really open about that now, aren't we?
No, 100%. It's the thing. It's like, I'm too old to start lying now. Like, about especially things that are legal. Like, I'm just too old. Everyone who knows me knows I smoke. It's why am I pulling? I don't have a job where I have to not smoke because it's legal.
No.
It's not against anything. I'm not breaking anyone's laws, or it's like saying, well, you smoke cigarettes. I think smoking cigarettes is worse. Now people are like, ugh, you smoke cigarettes? No, just weed. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And also, by the way, Pete, tell the people at home what you would be like if you didn't smoke weed.
Oh, freaking maniac. John, see, I had to take a beat there because I would like, don't channel that. Don't go to the other side. I have a lot of pent up energy, and I can react pretty quickly if I don't take time to stop and smell the roses. I just need to center myself, take a beat, and way better than any like anti-anxiety shit. Like any, of course, that's fun too, depending on what kind of party you're at. But prescribed like day to day, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, right.
No, thank you.
By the way, is this one for your mom?
I think this one is for all the moms. It being Mother's Day. This one goes out to all the ladies I love out there.
Well, I think we'll have a shot to that. Let's have a shot to mothers.
Mrs. My Boy Pete's mom, Mrs. John's mom. This is all you fans' moms. Here's to all the ladies. Cheers.
Cheers. Bink.
So the irony of it is my mom doesn't like to deal with the show because why do you drink so much? Why do you do that? Why just don't do that, Mike? You haven't said anything about smoking. Well, you're drinking too much.
Uh-huh.
Go on. Mom, this one's for you. You'll never see it.
But or hear it. Hey, hit that message and let's get started.
All right, buddy.
Hey, it's two-sided.
Yeah.
The serious and the fun. With John Peacock and my boy Pete. Two-sided podcast. Live right here on stereo. Yeah, keep it locked.
Oh, shit, John. That was a good intro. I'm sorry. That was a good... Can you record that one real quick? I know we shouldn't, but we're kind of slowing down early on. Folks, we like to take sound clips. We put them onto our show. That's a great one. Yeah? So good. Lucifer, I knew you were the angel I should have been talking to the whole time. This other guy doesn't know how to party or have good intros. You, my friend, are sticking around. All right, you ready, John? Folks, I'm just going to let you know one more time. Those of you on the YouTube, welcome. We're about to start here. Anyone who's listening on stereo, you can click that link above us to go to our YouTube channel where we go live Thursdays, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. And you can follow us there. You can also check us on Spotify, Apple Pod, Amazon Music, Apple Music, any musical instrument. If you put your ear up to a shell, you'll probably hear us.
Right, yeah. And if you're not listening live right now and you want to check out our YouTube page or any of our socials, it's the handle is Two-Sided Pod, TWO Sided Pod, all one word. That's our Patreon, our YouTube, our Insta, our Twitter, even our website. Check us out.
Hi, buddy.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this photo is actually really fucking good. But the one thing is it feels like Columbo. I'm not Columbo, I'm a black guy, so I can't be Columbo, but in my mind I'm Columbo. But the one thing I'll say, John L. Peacock, you gotta have the L, because L is for laryngitis. True story.
Lemony Snickets. I just poured water.
That's true.
Everywhere.
That's true. But yeah, please, if you say my Pete, if you say John Peacock, you got to say my Pete. Come on, it's John L. Peacock. It's my boy Pete.
Yeah, I respond to anything. Hey, you. Hey, good looking. Hey, you. With that fourth nipple. I don't have one, but I turn around.
It doesn't matter what you call me, as long as you call me.
As long as you call me.
Well, howdy.
Here we go.
I'm John L. Peacock out in Brooklyn, New York.
And I'm my boy Pete here in Southern California. Just quiet as a church mouse.
And you're listening to Two Sided, a live recorded podcast where each week I challenge Pete with a bit of the two sides of life, the serious and the fun.
Yeah, John, the you and the me, the no and the yes, the stop and the go, the push and the pull, the ebb and the flow, the yin and the yang, the peaks and the valleys, the Rockies and the Apollos. John, it's a difficult road we traverse, but we do it every Thursday. And I'm glad to be on with you, pal.
Well, let's just jump into it. My boy Pete, let's do a check-in. How you feeling while rhyming? Can you tell us how you're feeling while rhyming?
Seems to be there's not much to do with timing, but I have to say, I've been living large. I haven't been miming. Things are going great. Things are pretty okay. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it might stay.
Right on. That's right on, man.
Yeah, get it. Dig that.
Let's take that message and then keep on going.
Whenever you said Rockies, I want to say the Bullwinkles. It's gonna be the Bullwinkles.
The Rockies, the Bullwinkles. Oh, the Boris and the Natasha. Listen, it's like the Ken and the Ryu, man.
I was really going for the Bullwinkles as well. I really thought that's where you were going.
I like to surprise you guys every now and again. Not
Well,
so predictable.
Speaking of surprises, let's jump into our first lightning round.
Lightning round! It's time to get down! Come on!
Woo! Lightning guy, you are looking good. How you doing?
It's very good for the cold.
Calisthenics Kegels Core. Is that the KKC? Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and you are looking good. You are looking good. Much better than last week. It seems like you got your act together, brother.
He's been doing good. He's been having a better week. He's not
He's
such a
looking
bad.
svelte. He's looking svelte.
Yeah, looking fit.
Yeah.
No more paint huffing for him.
Yeah, the aura of weird glittery paint is like it's almost gone. It's almost completely gone. So I know that's been a couple weeks at this point.
Right, nearly completely gone. So yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Everyone's turning over new leaves here in Southern California, John. Everybody. It's great.
Well, speaking of everybody, anybody who's anybody knows that the first lightning round of the episode is always a standard Q&A. My boy Pete, are you ready for the questions?
I'm not quite ready because I think we should do a shot.
Well, if that gets you ready, let's do it.
Yeah, it does. Revs the engine. Bing, bing, bing.
Cheers, everybody. You're welcome for listening.
Woo! All right. Now I'm ready.
First question, my boy Pete. When was the last time you saw a play?
Oh. Must be a couple years ago. It was before lockdown. I haven't been to a theater since. I've been to a movie theater since.
Really? That actually surprises me. I thought you had been to a cinema.
No, I almost went, but I didn't. The last minute, I got cold attendee feet. I can get that same goddamn movie at home, and I don't have to wear pants.
What was the movie?
Um, I forget. That's how pointless it was. It wasn't like a
Oh,
big one.
oh, that wasn't even the question. Let's go back to Tess. So, okay, so not since lockdown.
Nope.
Do you remember what the play was, or kind of a rough timeline?
It would be Christmas time, 2019, and I always see a bunch of Christmas shows. So probably the last one was like Miracle on Grinch Christmas. I Know What You Did Last Santa, or I don't know, one of those. It was at the local theater. It was like a community theater, though. I know that.
Okay. Or one of the million adaptations of A Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Literally, there are so many. I have written an adaptation of A Christmas Carol.
Right. But it's all done Shakespearean times. It's Summer's Night's Christmas.
How'd you know? That's copyrighted.
Just saying. If I find that manuscript, I can get my name on the end, and then I get paid, John.
Okay, next question. My boy Pete. What do you prefer? Plays, musicals, or operas?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Not operas. Operas are tough. So it has to be super well staged. It has to be really great music. Because a lot of, they're singing in German or Italian or,
So it's got to be
just
one of the really big, great ones. Well done.
right,
So like La Traviata, the Ring
right,
Cycle, La Boheme. Yeah,
right. Madame La Boheme, yeah. Or, musicals are great, but they can be campy. They
Madame
can be
Butterfly.
hacky.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
There's
plays,
literally a musical on Broadway called Shucked right now about corn. Anyway.
yeah, it just seems like, man, oh, I can't wait till Act 2 when they get to the whole ethanol thing. John, it's so amazing. Sir, you think you have gas now? Wait till I get the corn inside you. Oh, I'm going to put that corn right inside you. We're going to have that gas, ethanol gas, inside you. Hey! Meanwhile, back in Iowa, the plays are bad because if it's a bad play or bad pacing or bad acting, there's no getting out of that. Like, you're not going to hit the climax. You're not going to hit the resolution, the denouement. You're not going to hit any of those things. But musicals, at least, there's another number coming. Like, I just got to slog through this. Everything's going to change, either for the worse or the better. But it's going to change. I can get with that. So I don't know.
That makes sense. Play. Yeah, go for
I
it.
was going to say, if we're saying paying like Broadway or going to the theater in LA, like Pantages, or if we're paying that kind of prices, I would go musical because they're amazing, they're fantastic, they're a thing. If it's like if you're paying $15 or $20 to get into the show, I don't want to see that musical. Most likely, it's like 50-50. You're casting people you shouldn't be. You're filling. I gotta wait for other people to see it, but yeah, plays,
Yeah. That makes sense. With musicals at a certain budget level, even if it's bad, even if you don't like what's happening, there's going to be spectacle. There's going to be something to look
right.
at or something to distract you, and some entertainment will happen, even if you're like, well, that was a dumb thing.
Snuff, the film, the musical. One night only. We can't seem to get actors here. I don't know, John.
All right, next question. My boy Pete, is there any significance to seeing a good play or musical over a good TV show or movie?
There's two big differences. I feel like you can be a lot more emotionally moved with a play or a musical. Like, you can connect. You can be. It's palpable in the air. Like, And it doesn't matter how big or small the theater is. If there's a connection, like, holy shit, they have the entire theater. You can feel everyone. But you walk out for intermission and you can like have these conversations. You walk out, if you saw it with people, let's go have cocktails. Let's go talk about this. I need to unpack this. And it's like amazing in that moment with those people. But then the next day, if you want to talk about it, you have to search for other people who've seen it. Oh, which production did you see? Who did you see it with? What was your, and then it's like, you didn't see my show. It was different. TV, it's a common theme. It's the water cooler talk. It's like, hey, did you see Murder, She Wrote? Yeah, it turns out Angela Lansbury did it. What a twist. Great connection that way, but not as fulfilling most of the time.
Yeah, right. With plays, with that visceral, it's all they're in the same room as you. They say that audience members start to breathe at the same time, and their heartbeats actually synchronize.
Yeah. If you watch a long enough play, if you're watching like a 3.5 hour play, you actually get on the same cycles. Like I started menstruating with the same people in my row. It was crazy. J14 bitches.
Final question, my boy Pete. Have you ever shouted back or loudly reacted to what was happening on stage while being an audience member?
No. Not at stage. When there's audible gasps, when there's things that are shocking, oh shit! And I'm notorious on planes and in plays. I was like grabbing people, like knees, arms. I'm like, hi, I'm Pete. I'll probably touch your arm. Hello, I'm Pete. I will probably touch your arm. Sorry.
I warned you.
Yeah. But no, never at the, like it's to me, anytime you don't talk to each other, you don't talk. Like you don't, it's so disrespect. To me, that is the ultimate disrespect on anyone on stage. Comedians, actors, musicians, unless they're trying to talk to you and have a conversation. Ain't that right, John?
That's 100% right, and that's actually fantastic because that's going to lead us directly to our first segment. I believe we have a message, so let's grab that first, and then jump right into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh shit, Dub.
I heard the call. Two-sided needs me. Shout out to Foundation Muse Lovers Spondies and tip of the hat to John L. Peacock, Esquire. How are you, sir? Well, my boy Pete. It's like a destiny thing. Oh, sure, I could get concerned that you forget, but you know what? I've never doubted you for a moment. My man. The senses, the fast track to oblivion.
See?
All the time.
Giddy up, baby. Giddy up, baby.
Giddy up. Cheers.
I think we know what time to do. Cheers to you, Dub. Cheers, buddy.
Dinka. Beak. And on that note, on our YouTube, we got some chatter. Hello, y'all. Foxy's in the house. Shout out to the Foxies.
Oh, yeah.
So,
the definition. Who knows? But wouldn't it be great if they did a musical of Snakes on a Plane? Let's be honest. I want to have that. I want to go to that, and I might audition to be Samuel L. Jackson. Does it not sound funny? I would love to be that guy that says, I had it with those motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
That's fantastic. There's nothing worse than watching a Samuel Jackson movie on network television and it's been edited out. Mother, father, snakes, mother, father, plane. Best best play I ever saw in LA. They did Point Break, the stage show.
Nice.
It was like pretty much improv. So they had a cast of like 5 people who were everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But except they needed Johnny Utah. So they had audience members come up who can do the best Keanu, and then you do your impression, and they pick, like they bring 5 people up, they do the impression, let the audience pick, and they're like, all right, Johnny Utah. They put a jersey on him, and then they just pull him around through the whole thing of the movie. Of just like, but it's really just minimalistic, almost improv scenes. Like when they're on the plane, they're gonna go jump out. They're on a bench. It's just a bench, and they're sitting knee to knee, like as close to this. And there's one guy right here, and one guy, and there's one space in the middle. And they're like, Johnny, get in! And he's like, he has to get in, and like they're right on him. Like, your shirt doesn't look too good, buddy. It's just it's fucking great. Oh, so great. And apparently, fucking Nolte comes down every once in a while and will make like a guest appearance, like
Nice.
in this area.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, as we began last week or last episode with not revealing to the live audience what we're talking about, and it proved to be a good thing because some people come on through and just read what's the headline is. And the headline's always the serious, then the fun, and Pete's ragings until I change it. And it's been changed because we're going to talk about theater etiquette.
Theater etiquette.
And its continual changes.
Oh, there is no changes. This is one of the things I believe that it needs to stay exactly the same. It's not like flying on a plane, John. You don't have to wear a suit anymore. Granted, I do every single time I fly. I'm not a farmer, John. Of course I wear a suit when I fly. But theater etiquette, that's one of the same things. Like, you don't eat meat with a salad fork. It's one of those basic principles in life. Like, you wouldn't use a dinner fork on an oyster, would you? Come on, John. You'd use a steak knife to cut your butter, or a butter knife to cut your wife. I'm sorry. That was an episode of Soft House.
And yet, 1,000 years ago, the Vikings were doing all of that with their hands.
Right? I'm saying, I'm going to give this show a 5-star review at this point. John, see back later on to see what kind of stars we have going up for us later. I'm going to blow this motherfucker up like only a kite can, baby.
So, my boy Pete being out in Southern California, you might have heard about this. In late April of this year, a clipped-off moan rather quickly was followed by a loud, mysterious scream coming from a female voice that rang out from the balcony of a packed audience attending a Tchaikovsky concert in Los Angeles.
Well, I didn't hear about this one. I've heard about a couple, but I haven't heard about this one.
It was the last April 30th, so it was just like a week and a half ago. It was so loud, so disruptive, so mysterious as to its origins. The scream came at a rather quiet and subdued part of the second movement of the composer's Fifth Symphony, that the music stopped and the audience turned to see what happened.
Oh, wait, no, I think I did hear about this. So much.
All right, keep going. Their eyes fell upon a flushed woman trying to catch her breath beside seemingly her partner, a man who was smiling and looking at her reassuringly. After witnessing the climax of what many described as a, quote, full-body orgasm, the maestro obliged to continue the concert without further escalation of the distracting incident.
Hey, Tchaikovsky, I got a can for you. Play that overture again.
people who were making bootleg recordings of the concert, then put that clip online, and so it's gone viral over the social medias of the scream that rang out.
That's fantastic. All these fucking bootleggers, like, normally my shit sells for like $1 a recording, and I sell 4 of them. But this is gonna make me a mint.
Was the couple's?
Do you like Tchaikovsky? No. You like chicks getting finger blasted over Tchaikovsky? Yes.
Yep.
And
Especially the recording devices that were sophisticated enough to capture that moan beforehand, because apparently that was just a soft one, and then the scream rang out. So, was this couple's alleged adventurism proper theater etiquette today, or even in history? Well, let's find out. That's what we're going to talk about for a while.
But you don't have to take my word for it. John did research.
I did. So take, for example, ancient Greek theater. Audiences in the theater of ancient Greece were active and vocal participants in many dramatic festivals. Aristotle described an angry audience shutting down a performance after they perceived inconsistency in the staging. They're like, nope, you did it bad.
You suck! Why don't you go upstage instead of downstage? We're down here. Boo this man! Boo!
Also, a historian said that spectators of Phoenicrus's The Sack of Miletus burst into tears and assigned the playwright a fine of 1,000 drachmas due to the play's upsetting content.
All right. This shit upset the children, the women, and some of the not so manly men. I'm not crying, you're crying. Anyway, you gotta pay me 1,000 drachmas. I'm gonna go get a shawarma. You guys suck.
You mean the men who are actually in touch with their emotions?
Whatever.
Alongside this lively conduct was also an impulse to regulate audience behavior. Roswelli describes, David Kowalko Roswelli describes a kind of theater police tasked with maintaining order during performances because they were getting out of hand.
Ushers, man. Ushers.
Yeah,
that's what
totally. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyone who has a flashlight and they wield it like a baton, usher. Hey, God damn, keep that thing out of my eyes.
Yeah, but they actually had a baton and they wielded it like a sword.
Hey, get that sword out of my eyes. Silly peasant, it's a baton.
Renaissance England was renowned for its boisterous audiences who, in public outdoor theaters, might urinate, engage in romantic trysts. So apparently it was good theater etiquette what they did at Tchaikovsky's concert. Sleep, eat, and drink heartily, all while taking in Shakespeare's newest work.
Yeah, okay. I get the eating. I get if it's Shakespeare, the sleeping. And granted, you're in the Globe Theater. It's kind of outdoors, so peeing is fine. All right, That's fine. It's kind of ground. It's kind of fine.
It's a dirt floor. Yeah.
Yeah, totally fine. I think all those things in their specific time. Okay, if you have an outdoor theater, you're doing Shakespeare, I would not be offended if someone was eating, sleeping, or peeing.
Well, you left out the other one.
Oh, no, I didn't mention that, John. I'm saving that one for last. That's my favorite.
And this is all during the day, by the way. Yeah, it had to be because it was outdoor.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Why are you getting your doublet on, my good roommate, my boy Pete? Oh, my Lord John L. Peacock. Didn't thee know it's the new play, Romeo and Juliet, at the Globe? Bitches be crazy for Romeo and Juliet. I'm going to get into a throuple, a tryst, as it were. Do you wish to join?
right around Act 4.
Yeah. Hey, girl, I got some poison. You down to party?
So Elizabethan audiences clapped and booed whenever they felt like it. Sometimes they threw fruit. This is a side note. It's not in my notes, but did you know that they when people think of throwing fruit, they think of Rotten Tomatoes? In fact,
Yeah.
there's a rating system for movies called Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomatoes weren't in England at that time. They didn't have the tomato until the 1700s. So it was definitely not tomatoes.
I feel like the Looney Tunes cartoons have done me wrong once again with my learning. God damn it. Acme.
The groundlings, who were on the dirt, paid a penny to stand and watch performances and to gawk at their betters, the fine rich people who paid the most expensive tickets to actually sit on the stage. So they had that as well.
That's crazy. That's crazy. We
Yeah.
saw, remember, we saw a view from a bridge and we were on the stage in the wings, but just being in the wings was weird enough. Like, you could see audience members like, I feel weird about being here. This is not.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on stage. I'm not trying to be on stage. I'm just trying to watch a show. But you're like, put my chair up here and while I eat grapes and fornicate with the Lady Macbeth. Oh, not that one. I brought my own Macbeth. I'm kind of a fanboy.
Well, and it was like sports stands. It was what do they call that?
Risers?
Risers? You know,
Like
you and a girl making out after school under the
bleachers.
bleachers. There you go. Yeah, it was like bleachers.
Underneath the lunch lady's dress. I don't know where you meet up with your girl. You're a very accommodating lunch lady. What?
Anyway,
What?
many of these theaters avoided regulation from authorities by being located outside of the city of London, alongside bear baiting arenas, pubs, and sex workers in the so-called red light district of Southwark. That's where the Globe was. It was on the south bank of the Thames.
Now, I know the term and I know it's not good. But, John, let's just take it back a couple steps. It's where bear baiting happened. Now, coming from a master standpoint of the literary language, when I think of baiting and you put a bear next to it, I can only imagine what kind of daredevil, what kind of crazy stunt this was. There's whole bleachers here filled with beta bear. All right. Quick, he brought his own Barry White. Oh yeah.
Do you want me to explain to the Susie homebody at home what bear baiting is? For
Well, I'm
those who
not
don't
done
know,
yet.
I know you know.
Oh, 100%, but I'm not done yet. Because after he puts on ye old Barry White,
Yeah.
he puts on some of that Tricard Noir, pool water, gasoline, raw fish, salmon smell that bears like so much. Mmm, delicious. And then, as Bugs Bunny would do, he dresses in a bear costume. But what do the people at home, what do they need to know about bear baiting?
Well, bear baiting is it's horrible. So it's a gambling thing where they would have a captured bear chained by the neck to a small place, to a peg in the middle of the arena, and then they would stick dogs on it until the bear died. And you would gamble as to how long the bear would survive, and many a dog
Or
were
how many
lost.
dogs?
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, bear baiting. Hmm. Anyway, let's go past that one.
Yeah, no, go past that. Go back to when we were jerking a bear off in the woods, John. Hey, back when simpler times reigned. Hey, does a big brown bear get jerked off in the woods? I don't know. Is there a bear bedding station close by? Is this not a red light district? He asks knowingly, growl.
Well,
Gentle Ben ain't so gentle now.
Shakespeare scholar and bear jack offer Andrew Gurr writes that given this lack of oversight, by the way, his last name is Gurr, writes that this given lack of oversight, the audience set the rules. Someone caught pickpocketing might be tied to one of the stage pillars as punishment, for example, of the globe. This is all about the globe. Right.
Yeah. I'm with that.
Yeah, self-policing, fantastic.
100%. He ain't dead. What's the problem?
Yeah. And you get to mock him throughout the play.
Yeah, you walk out, even if it's with a limp, but you get to walk out. Hey, shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been standing there.
Seriously, if you, my boy Pete, who notoriously does not like Shakespeare plays, saw a Shakespeare production during that time, in that you love trysts, you love urination, you love eating, you love tying people to pillars and mocking them the entire time during Shakespeare's speeches, you would love all of Shakespeare, even the boring ones. You'd be like, yeah, let's go watch Henry the Sixth Part 2.
Yes, I will have you know, gentlemen, that I am a patron of the bard Sir William Shakespeare. I've attended all of his shows. Which is your favorite? Haven't seen a goddamn one. Too busy banging and beating the shit out of thieves. It's a great time, boys. I highly recommend sponsoring this man. It's really enlightening. I think this is going to go down in history as one of the best theaters ever.
Throwing non-tomato fruits at the supposed pickpocketer.
I'm not going to.
Okay, so in the mid-18th century, now we're getting to it, celebrated performer and theater manager.
All right, folks, if you're on YouTube and you're watching us live, hold on to your butts. We're in the 18th century. Holy shit, things speed up right around here. I'll have you know.
Well, you said it never changed, theater etiquette. Well, this is the theater etiquette beginnings that you know. David Garrick.
All right. No more fucking, no more pissing, no more fucking shit. Stop being a bunch of fucking wankers.
Said David Garrick. He was determined to reform the audience behavior that he saw was disruptive. Up to this point, audience members could actually sit on the stage alongside the performers. One satirical text called The Gull's Horn Book even gave advice as how to best on how best a spectator may draw attention to themselves and away from the entertainment at hand. So they were going at it.
Hold on, were you upstaging me? Is that how this whole thing came about? I understand it's another actor, but now you have now entered my domain, you theater dweller, you groundling, and now we're partying like this?
The satire said you could do it by showing off one's legs, clothing, hair, and, quote, tolerable beard.
Nothing? All right. I got a Merc and I can do some work with that. You got nope? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's where I went. The tolerable beard.
John, get your mind out of the gutter. We're an educational show. We don't need to pander. Come on, John. Let's keep it above the belt, buddy.
Well, Garrick renovated his theater to move the audience off stage and prevent them from entering the theater via the actors' dressing rooms, because They had mostly done that before. But the prick didn't stop there. To try to ruin our fun, Garrick also attempted to do away with the selling of half-price tickets at intermission. So under this system, spectators could pay cheaper tickets to only watch the second half of the show. But he eventually backed down after the audience staged large riots protesting possible change.
Hell no, we won't pay or watch the first part of this fucking show. It's long. We'll have to cut it down. It won't fit on the signs. All right, let's just say hell no. All right, let's go. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
The 19th century, as Pete said, we are fast forwarding. The 19th century brought about the popularization of the proscenium arch, an architectural feature that effectively separates the audience from the actors on stage by the way of the picture frame-like border around the stage.
And you have your thrust that comes down, and a lot of action is done down there, but basically where the curtain comes, that's going to be your proscenium. So when you finish the big number and the lights go down and you take 5 steps back, so you're underneath the curtain, you're behind the proscenium, and the lights come up and you bow, and then the shit comes down and you don't have to move and run. Like that's and it's a way, it's also, those curtains are, and it is kind of fucked up, but it is fire retardant and it's supposed to be for the audience, but it's also helps backstage if there's a fire out there and the curtains are lowered, like we're safe, you're not. it's very fire retardant, and it has I don't know if you've seen Backdraft, but if you go, we go. That's number 1. Also, don't trust your fire chief. Also, flame retardant, and you can still say flame retardant, John. It's true.
Well, and yeah, the first thing that happens if there's ever a fire in the theater is the curtain comes down.
Yep.
So you're right. Like, nope, we're good. All right, let's slowly walk out.
Everybody, smoke if you got them. We're pretty cool back here, but holy shit, it's a goddamn bloodbath out there.
So, along with the structural change, a change in lighting also reinforced the separation between audience and performers. Pete, you know what this is.
Oh, this is great, because house lights up, house lights down. Stage lights up, stage lights down. You have your work lights, then you have your BOGOs, you have your towers, you have all the different lighting that you can pull up, but house lighting is completely separate from stage lighting, 100%. And now you have full control over house lighting, so you can take them to half, 3/4, you can bring them up at a speed, you can lower them at a speed, anything like that, but no, you motherfuckers are full bright and we're dark, or whatever we need to do.
Yep.
Like however we need to control you animals. Sorry animals.
And what was the first lighting configuration for the stage? For the stage.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, first it was dark, and then my boy Pete said, "Shit is dark. Let there be light," and there was, and it was good.
It was good.
And then we had track lighting, but we also had Thomas Kincaid pictures, which really helped flash and show off what we had in the study. Lighting.
There's a community theater out in Southern California. You might be familiar with it. It is the name of it.
The lighting sign. Oh yeah, no, it was Footlighters. It was in Footlights. It was
That's right.
The same, because they had, and that's how they had for a lot of the time. Still, for big band music, for all of that, for anything that was playing in clubs. Well, we're now in the 1900s, but that was like really big. Yeah. Okay. Footlighters. Yeah.
Yeah, and back then they had that box, the conductor box. So the people underneath the stage who were playing the music, and the people on the stage were all conducted by the same guy. And so he was in the middle of the footlights. Yeah.
Right, and he had all those people, all these people, but then I don't know if you've seen a lot of early murder mysteries, because either hilarity would take place there, or murder would take place there. But it's a really hot spot to be, John. So definitely keep your eye on that.
Right.
Places.
Well, as you mentioned, up until the 19th century, the seating area would be as brightly lit as the stage. But in 1817, theaters began using gas lighting, and in 1837, limelight, which gets its name from calcium oxide, also known as quicklime, uh, that was introduced. So these innovations placed the audience in shadow and illuminated the stage actors. This was the first version of what you were talking about. Take the audience down, bring the stage up, screw those guys, you guys don't mean anything. But up until then, for centuries, for millennia, it was all the same lighting. It had to be.
Right. House to half. House to
Right.
half. Slow rolled it black and black. Cue music. Go music. And Q1. Lights out. Ooh, John. I miss being around it. There's something special about the whole process, and
it really is.
When you have limelight and you have like at this point, I don't know if I'm getting cancer. It's quicklime. Like I know I can make sure a body decomposes very quickly if I take this out or light a stage. Hey, officer, me and my boy Murderface Peacock here, we're just going out with this fucking pallet full of quicklime to do some limelighting at the Footlighters stage of theater. Hey, acting, am I right, Murderface?
No, I'm not a murderer. I'm an actor. No, I'm not a sociopath. I'm an actor.
Yeah, see? Tell him again, Murderface. Anyway, officer, we're late to a play. We're going to take this lime there to get the show started.
So the audience, now physically separate and visually obscured, was more docile. The theater scholar Caroline Haim describes in the. You got something?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The words physically, something you said, restrained and docile. What was that?
They were physically separate and visually obscured. They became more docile.
Physically separated and visually obscured.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna tie him up and we're gonna poke him in the eyes. See, and nobody's gonna make any quick moves or enjoy this goddamn show. I'll poke your eyes out.
It was a nice way of saying they're off the stage and they're in the darkness. Yeah. But yeah.
We also have blowguns, and we trank them if they get out of hand. Go to sleep, little boy.
But this totally makes sense, right? There's the whole us and them mentality that's kind of almost programmed into us. But when we're all the same, we're on the stage, we're all lit the same, we're right there, we're going to respond like we're in the show. And when suddenly there's this huge separation, we just like sit down and shut up.
Right. And anyone who doesn't know that feeling, because we don't have theaters like that anymore, if you have close theaters or you're going to like shows, you see people walk up on stage if they walk by the theater or walk by the stage too close, and there's not a pit, but think about any gathering you've ever been to where there's a hot mic, and it's like it could be a family reunion, it could be a concert, someone has a hot mic, it's not just kids, everybody loves a hot mic because they just like take their little moment, like still, I promise you, you can say hot mic on a stage with adults and you're going to get 15 of them like coming up, and they'll start doing raps and doing songs. Eventually, it's awful. It's an awful human trait, and it must be stamped out of us. It's like the zombie gene. It has to be stamped out before it gets going too strong.
So, Caroline Haim says that the 19th century created, quote, rules admonishing expressive performance by audience members. They were enforced. So in theaters, these were printed in playbills. So this is another quote. In theaters, they were printed in playbills on placards, handbills, notices on the backs of seats, and outlined in lectures by theater managers before performances. It was the first theater police in the modern way, the ushers, like you're saying, because the Greeks were like literally like bashing people because they were getting too violent. That's different.
All right, any of you motherfuckers make a fucking move and I'll blow your fucking heads off. Enjoy the show. Intermission will be in an hour and a half. Brought to you by William S. Shakespeare and fucking Quentin Tarantino, bitches.
By the end of the century, such expectations characterized the new behavioral contract, quote unquote, audience members had to follow.
Nope. See, I'm with it. I'm 100%. I love all the etiquette. I believe in it. I am the police now. But now that you say it like this, and we had this, and you're taking this away, and now you're going to be a police person, and oh no, you're not. No, you're not. No, I'm going to fist fight you. I'll see you in intermission near the snack bar. I don't want to make a scene here. I'm really enjoying the show. I will see you at the snack bar.
Well, it's that thing. It's the we take away. Everyone seems okay with the first one, the second one, the third one. Suddenly we're in a different kind of theater setting, right? So with these shifts, proper etiquette shifted to as little distraction from the performance as possible. People just shut up. It was no longer interactive. And even the interactive, quote unquote, or immersive, quote unquote, performances of today are nothing like the actor audience connection, for good or for ill, prior to the 18th century.
Okay, I know you're going to get into it. I feel like you're going to get into it. But the melodramas, you're going to go melodramas?
Well, that was the era of the shift.
That was the era of the shift. But now that is the big resurgence. Do you have that? Because that is one of the things that is big around here, where it's audience interactive. Boo as much as you want, yell as much as you want. Here, you can buy. We sell bags of peanuts, $5 a bag. Throw them all you want.
Yep. I don't go into that specific, but I go into the current backlash against that. So we will talk about that, but not so you can bring in what you're referring to, because I have other stuff.
That's great.
Because there's different ways of fighting this.
There is, and I thought we were in the 19th century. But if I can say I can do it later, I feel like we have another fucking 17 pages to go, and I'm with it, bro. 100% with it. So let's buckle down. Let's get through this.
Well,
let's hope you guys time to turn that page in the journal. Take another shot of coffee. Let's start making notes. John, what else?
You and I are both of the theater, so for those who are not as experienced, right? Emily,
you peasants, not as experienced. John, the word that would be best used would be that are not that familiar with.
Familiar.
You're not as good as we are. Houses filled with rich Corinthian leather. Well, basements full of books and skins, lotion. Wait, no, different movie.
Right. So for the ignorant out there, so Emily Emily Post's Etiquette magazine even recently updated their, quote, rules of social behavior with many of the same expectations found in the mid-20th century for theater etiquette. Here we go. No talking unless audience participation is requested by the performers. Oh, I have secondary things for any of these. I'm just going to read the main thing if you want. Second, use good posture. Next, remove hats. That actually was really big in cinema. Women would wear, or even men would wear huge hats and wouldn't take them off during the silent film era. And people are like, dude, I have to climb your hat to look around to see the film.
Yeah. Do you remember the Sesame Street episode where Bert and Ernie went to the movies? He's like, hey, you can't.
Yeah.
And she found, oh, I'm sorry. And takes it off, and it's right in front of Bert now.
Noise is off. cell phone, beepers, whatever. Lights out. Don't have your screen on your mobile device. Snap, crackle, pop. Get your candy out of the wrapper beforehand. Control coughing. I love that's one of the proper etiquette
Well,
things.
let's go back. I like when they say unwrap your candy. I'm like, well, turns out I brought an ice chest and I have the barbecue grill started. Should I take the meat off now and just let it rest? Will it be disturbing if I start cutting meat and having people come up? Nope. Okay. Continue.
Well, yeah, cutting meat isn't very loud. They also say that same one, don't slurp drinks.
Yeah, they say it on podcasts too. Weird.
Yeah, weird. Avoid other sounds that can disturb the people around you and the performers. Munching noisily, smacking or cracking gum, rattling the pages of programs, tapping feet or drumming fingers, or snapping pens over and over again, my boy Pete. Humming or singing along, rummaging in purses are just a few of the things that can annoy those around you.
Pickpockets in the theater were like, yep, I'm good on all those. And like, no rummaging in purses. Whatever. I'll be at the movies if you need me. We call them the talkies these days.
Smoke only in designated areas.
Yes, please. Which is all the areas. This is goddamn America. Do you smoke after sex? I don't know. I haven't looked. Come on, John.
Don't take flash photos or shoot video during live performances. And finally, dispose of trash, including chewed gum, in waste containers. Now, why would they point that one out, my boy Pete?
That's left under the seats a lot. People just
All the time. What, you learn that in high school or like grade school, and you're like, I'm gonna just do this all the time.
Right, but high school, grade school, middle school, all those schools, it was back earlier when they had poor gum. Now, if you get to the theater early enough, you can get all the gum from under the seats and eat it all yourself, and it still tastes good. We live in today's time.
All right, buddy. But there has been some backlash against the somewhat Puritan, definitely entitled and wealthy rules put upon the theater over the last few centuries. During the 20th century, attending the theater became tied to high culture, and dressing formally became standard. While this remained common even decades ago, societal standards eventually changed and theaters relaxed their policies. Now, in theaters spanning Broadway, the West End, and beyond, strict dress codes have become a rarity. They got rid of that one.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I feel like it almost makes it better, classier. It's the same thing as flying. Like people now have their bare feet on the seats and like pajamas on and like, what the fuck, man? I feel like I'm riding a cattle cart. Yeah, we all pay the same amount of money. First class ain't cheap, but why am I sitting next to you on this flight? I wore a vest. I took a shower for this. Jesus Christ, John. It's those little things. And I'm guilty of it because the same things, like, but in our time, like, oh, if you're going to church services, like, you can wear jeans. God doesn't judge. Well, the theater community does. We are God here.
Wait, that's one that you're actually with? You want bow ties and top hats?
No, I do not. John, I think there's a happy medium. I think there's a hold on, this
I just for those not watching live on YouTube, I just reprimanded my boy Pete visually about clicking the pen too many times shortly after I mentioned off the cuff, out of script, about clicking the pen.
It wasn't off the cuff. That shit was planned, bro. That was the first thing I planned this whole show. Is this an intervention? If this is an intervention or you're a cop, you have to tell me. That's the law.
I am reading from a script, so maybe this is an intervention.
All right, well, we better probably pour a shot and get ready for the end of this segment. If it's intervention, we only have a few more shots left before they come to take me away.
Well, we're getting to what you had mentioned earlier. You pour that shot for yourself while I say no speaking policies can be found worldwide. This remains a high priority at Japanese kabuki theaters, for example, as performances of this traditional art form never use microphones. But again, in plays by playwrights who encourage talkback moments when inspiration touches audience members, there can be found encouragement to do so in inserts of current Broadway playbills. So there's a backlash against even the no talking policy.
I wouldn't say it's a backlash, John. I'll be honest. I feel like they're playing with fire. What you're doing, if you have, in certain instances, and you have a time to talk back. No, John. Once you open Pandora's box, you can't close it. So unless it's at the end of the show, the very last scene of the very last part of the show, you open that box somewhere before, you now have people in the back. Okay, we can talk now. Open the box again. No, John, that's playing with fire. Oh, no. Like lemmings running off a cliff, John. I can't trust them. I won't trust them. I don't believe in them. I feel if you're running an improv show, if you have a whole improv cast, yes, by all means. But if that's your bit, but if not, have a cast to be able to shut it down. But that has to be an improv cast. Like, holy shit, you're playing with fire, John. You're playing with fire. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Oh, Jesus, man. Open it up to an audience talkback and then try and do a show. And then, no, John. If I didn't have a drinking problem, this conversation would lead me to have one. Thank God I do, and it didn't. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. Speak. So singing along in musicals has also been up for recent debate, as some elderly women were forcefully, or forcibly, I think is proper, but I wrote forcefully, ejected from a West End production of The Bodyguard, a jukebox musical, which means pop culture songs many already know are the songs of the musical. They're not original to that. When they refused to stop singing "I Will Always Love You" loudly. They weren't doing it to undermine the show, they said. They were in the balcony and could not be heard by the performers, only by the most of the rest of the balcony beside them. But nonetheless, they were given the boot by security and heckled as they were removed, which means the show stopped. The performers could not hear it, but it was disruptive enough that the show was stopped to remove them or to stop them. But it ultimately ended in removal.
See, yeah, no, I saw that one, and that's to me that's awful. That's the worst because it's not. You do have. For instance, I saw a show like in the fall before the lockdown. I was seeing a lot of shows. I saw Mamma Mia in Palm Springs, which was a great show. But then I saw it in LA, and it was a sing along. So they wanted the audience to sing with every song. They like, it's a soloist, but like they would like, come on, okay. It was totally different vibes. Totally, one was a musical. They were both musicals, but one was like, yeah, yell back.
Right, one you saw, one you participated in.
Exactly. And I went to the second one. I went to Palm Springs, the show with people. It was a great show. Like, oh, really good. Like, great staging, great singing, great acting. Went to the one in LA by myself. And I'm like, I ain't trying to fucking sing. I'm like, this is ABBA? Really? I'm like, I just saw it. I'm like, I get it. I'm here to support. Like, this is bullshit. But by scene 3, I'm like, woo! Let's get it.
Here I go again.
Yeah. Don, I had moves, I was starting to dance like the father cheerleader. And
Yeah.
I know all the moves. Yeah, we do them. It's my boy Pete. Yeah.
Well, it's the shadow cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? You throw the rice,
Exactly.
you squirt the water, you do the things.
You throw the hot dogs.
You're part. You're part of the show. You, the audience member.
You make the show better. You watch it at home. It is not the same show as when you watch it in the theater when there is third dimension.
Yeah.
Actually,
So,
the fourth dimension, because you can smell them too at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
It is the midnight show.
Wow. I'll be honest. Smells of failure and vomit. Welcome to the Rocky Horror Midnight Showing, baby.
Yeah, our show starts at 8 p.m. Pacific, and you can already smell us. So think about midnight. Holy crap.
Right.
So there are current lists all throughout etiquette societies. I noticed because I looked it up, shown through their updated posts, blogs, and how-to pages saying we should show appreciation, laugh, gasp, clap, cry, and even stand at the end of the show when all others around you are standing. That's a quote. But should refrain from making any attention towards ourselves in any way. Even sleeping can lead to snoring, which leads to distraction.
Yeah, but seriously, that's only dangerous if you're there by yourself. I have fallen asleep at many a show, but I have someone who's like, huh? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, good. As long as you don't just wake up. Beavers and dots!
Cobras!
Sorry. No, I was just really into the show. Sorry, guys. Great show. Beautiful plumage.
Because of this, mob mentality rules in the most subdued and high culture ways.
Hell yeah. Mob mentality rules, John. And if you don't think it's right, I got 78,000 people behind me who will prove you wrong. Lock him up.
Well, at the same time, almost all these lists that I looked at for directed to shows on Broadway included a rule of not over policing others' actions. At etiquette-ny.com, they write, quote, "Do not be a prissy Miss Manners. Although a person's behavior may be inappropriate or disruptive, do not take it upon yourself to be the manners police," end quote.
Hey, man, you gotta let the peacocks fly. Don't be a Karen. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, that's basically it. Another said this with the same rule of talking too much or too loudly during a performance, that over shushing is also inappropriate. So, hey, stop shushing the person because you're drawing more attention away from the performance because of you, not the person, right?
Hey, something wrong with your lips? You got a leak, motherfucker? Well, something gonna be wrong with your lips. You keep making that sound. I'll tell you that right now. Ooh. I only say that way. I only talk that in the theater, movie theater, cinema.
In the cinema, in the moving pictures place.
The old talkies.
One even went into the past to show this as a taboo, the shushing. Quote, Etiquette has never forgotten, that's the name of the magazine, Etiquette has never forgotten the man in the audience of the famous Sutherland Horn Pavarotti recital, who can be heard in the audience after one number honking out bravi, bravi, ostentatiously pluralizing bravo. No doubt to educate everyone around him. People, this is not necessary and not really perfectly proper. Your reaction to a performance should not call attention to you.
Show us your tits. Same thing, John. You don't want to be that guy. You go to a UFC match and they're grappling, like, twist his dick off. You don't want to be that guy either. Don't hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Right? Bravo. Don't stand. Sit quietly.
Well, they were all
Muzzle.
clapping. That's the thing. They just weren't yelling out "Bravo," and he was pissed because they were just clapping and not doing that extra step that he felt was necessary for theater etiquette.
Oh, I do that. Woo! Woo!
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Woo! If they say don't do that, I was like, you know what? You don't know me. That's how I let all my people know I'm in the show. I can be the balcony. Woo! Like, oh,
There he is.
he said he was going to come.
I thought he
Sing
left
along.
at intermission.
Mamma Mia, but he's still here. Guess we're getting drunk after the show. Woo!
So, when does it detract and when does it add to the experience? Shushes and harshly screamed bravies seem to always be distracting, even as they're ironically meant to silence the supposed detractors from the experience. So, looking at one of last month's Story of the Week from Theater Mania website, quote, I have recently noticed program inserts at certain plays, often by black writers in parentheses, explicitly giving the audience permission to laugh as loud as they want, even respond back to the stage if so moved. This seemed to be an effort to put non-white theatergoers at ease in spaces they may feel alien. Also in parentheses, according to the latest statistics from Broadway League. But it also serves as a notice to more seasoned theatergoers to think twice before admonishing a fellow patron for a breach of etiquette. Essentially, the authors are amending the code of conduct to welcome newcomers. End quote.
Wow, that's an interesting line. I saw where they ended. They took a hard left halfway through the middle. Like, whoa, shit! I feel like I'm talking to my grandpa. Whoa, to make white people feel comfortable, predominantly black. Whoa, holy shit! Like, really? No, man. Okay, all it is, John. And I'm not a religious man, but I understand the religions. I understand how they communicate, how you're drawn to this church, how you're drawn to this church, how, oh, I'm this, I'm like, if you're not born into it, how you get sucked into it, what you're doing.
Sure.
All that is how you worship. That's Southern Baptist. Don't be afraid to talk. It's not Pentecostal. We ain't speaking in tongues.
Not the Holy Rollers.
Right. We're appropriate when we speak. In the moments of holler back, laugh as loud as you want. Go ahead, we'll wait. Because now that's how we've learned this show with timing, with give it space, give it air to respond to those things.
Yeah.
You couldn't have a theater. I'll go on a limb and say most of the shows that you've done, that I've done, couldn't stand up to an audience that is laughing too hard or talking back to you, or like everyone would adapt and it would like, oh, 3 shows in, we figured our feet out, but no one's prepared for it. It's not, you don't come into it. Like you might have your last 2 shows like, man, I love it, it's great. But you didn't plan for it. If you go in planning for it and this is what we're doing, like, yeah, it's a whole approach to theater. It's a how,
yeah.
Hey man, do you want to party? Hey, do you want to worship? Hey, do you have a moment to talk about your Savior, Lord Jesus Christ? I'm just saying, John.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that much, but I don't think it's that far off kilter. I think you need to know the rules of the theater you're going into, and if you don't know, you always adhere to shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's not like some kind of explicit exception for this performance,
folks, hey folks, what we need from you, we can't do it alone. If we get enough laughs and hollers and woos, little Johnny's gonna walk from his wheelchair across the stage by the end of the show. And if he doesn't, you all get fruit to throw at him. Not tomatoes, because they didn't have those in England. See, John, we all learned something today. Little
Yeah.
Johnny might walk if we all play the game right.
Well, with that, the last play I was in was post the shutdown, and the artistic director would come out and do a curtain speech. One, to tell people to turn off their cell phones because they forgot about that. He started with, we've all just been for the past 2 years sitting in front of our TVs, so we forget about live performance etiquette. One, turn off your cell phones. Two, the actors can hear you. If you're having side conversation, that's distracting. But also, this is a comedy. You're allowed to laugh because he was finding.
Also, Janet in the front row, please put your pants back on. And also, why did you bring your cats? Very off-putting. This is not the lockdown. All right, put the pants on. Put the cats in the pants.
Cats in the pants.
Weirdest. That's the second. That's the reboot of the Dr. Seuss. Cat in the hat. Cats in the pants. Thanks, Janet. Apostrophe. Clawed balls.
But that that default, even before the pandemic, was do not do anything that draws any attention whatsoever, even for a second. And so clap when you're allowed to clap because other people are clapping. And if one person doesn't start clapping, you're not going to clap. That kind of thing has, in our world.
Yes,
but Broadway was so much more strict. So I understand why
100%.
people went to the shushing thing more, because they're not going to stop. The old Broadway would not stop because it's all so choreographed down to the last second. And so they had to hit their marks, and they were afraid of pausing for a half second. So the audience members who knew, old-timey members, sure, I need to see this one part. Stop distracting me. Right.
Right. No, yeah. Yeah, 100%. No, you're right. 100%.
So just showing a parallel. There's a Facebook post by Larissa Fasthorse, who is the playwright of the Thanksgiving play. She is a native person, and
after this, though, I want to read a Facebook post by the LAPD, because we're all posting shit on Facebook these days. My mom stopped, but apparently this playwright and the LAPD are posting shit. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Started off-Broadway Playwrights Horizons, is currently on Broadway. She posted this response to inserts in her production's playbill. Quote, "To be clear," and this is from the production, not her.
To be clear was in the production. To be clear.
So this is her response to...
quote.
Yeah, oh, no, to be clear.
This is her response to that. This is not the insert in the bill.
Maybe I should tell you what the insert is. I forgot to do that. I threw her response before any of it.
Here's the deal. Sometimes Facebook can get the better of us. I learned that with my mom and the LAPD. But Larissa, the playwright from a Thanksgiving play, John, you had it right when she responded instead of preemptively reading. So, John, what was she responded to?
The producers put into an insert into the playbill, which was different from what I just talked about. It was respect the people on stage, don't draw attention to yourself, be quiet unless the times that you know to be quiet. It's just an overgeneralization, but that was it. It was those old rules that I was talking about with the Emily post, right? It was basically reinforcing that. Okay, so here's a response. Quote, "To be clear, these inserts were put into..."
To be clear. Sorry. I don't think that's said enough in our day-to-day lives, John. To be clear. That's like some passive-aggressive shit.
Well, I think it's pretty straightforward.
I don't know. To be clear, John, I think you're going to see a lot more of those on Facebook than you are on Instagram, to be clear.
These inserts were put into your the Thanksgiving play Broadway program by Playbill, and not by me or Rachel Chapkin, the main producer. Although I absolutely agree with being kind to the staff, they take a lot of abuse. Please be loud in our show. I saw some wild performances where there was lots of audience interaction with my characters, and our actors had a ball. My number one rule in the theater is, quote, be a human. And that means all humans. The ones who need to go to the bathrooms, the ones who laugh loudly, the ones who have life complications and get there late, the ones who unexpectedly need to a cough drop, the ones who need a nap, and especially the ones who are so moved by the work that they need to respond immediately in ways that are meaningful to them. Be you. End quote.
Your Honor, and that is why I had a threesome at in the Heights. I do love Brooklyn, and it made me think about threesomes, Your Honor.
I'll definitely give that one to you. And of course, you in this scenario, you were in Brooklyn, though watching In the Heights, which is about Washington Heights in northern Manhattan. Anyway,
no, 100%. That's because I wouldn't ever watch that movie unless I was in Brooklyn with you.
It's a good movie. It's a better musical.
Right, but I had to fly back across the U.S. to go to court. This is bullshit, John. Bullshit, I say.
So a couple of times that me, John L. Peacock, I was in the audience of Broadway shows. I saw old, shall I say, blue hairs, either privately grumbling to themselves, which was loud enough for several of us to all hear, that, quote, those people were ruining the show while staring at the other audience members who stood up and hollered at some particularly amazing parts. The one I specifically remember is the first incarnation of the musical The Color Purple. And I also remember some just straight up overly shushing people who were fully invested in the show in their own way that was instantaneous, short, and ultimately not derailing if they had if others had not drawn attention to the moment. So I see this.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, I agree. I agree. I've seen that too. Like sometimes, that happens. But I think that's a good rule, just in general in life, and like just be human, be a person. Like, are you feeling that uncomfortable that you need to draw attention to yourself? Are you the fucking crazy person that needs to like, woo, your party boy who goes to a fucking Speedo when you get into do you need to do that? Like, maybe not here, maybe not right now. Maybe generally, yeah, but maybe not now, right?
Yeah.
Everything in its time and its place, and that's not the time or the place. I'm 100% with that, because if you feel something, like, great, but as a person, if that's not my jam, they're not ruining the whole show. Yeah, do the whole thing. I believe anytime the lights go out, if they're doing a set change, that's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Bravissimo. Like that. Woo! Woo! Close your tits. Okay, not that far, but I'll go farther than clap. I'm a big believer in like little moments, but you don't take it into when the lights come up. You don't take it into the next scene. If there's a moment, yeah, you can react, but you can't talk to it like you talk in a movie. If you go to a movie, you pay matinee prices.
Yeah.
Pay $8. Like, goddamn, talk to that thing. You done drop your pistol? When you bust through the window, what you gonna do now? The fuck you gonna do now? Oh shit! I told you she was evil. I told you she was evil. I'm okay with that, but you pay $80, $100. I'm not trying to let you dictate my show. You know what I mean? Like there's limits to everything, and I believe that everyone should be comfortable with everyone else's limits.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you don't shush. You go over and choke them out. Like,
right.
You can't even make it
quietly.
because
quietly.
You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
I was called out at an award show, the Barrymores. So it was just an award show. So it was local theater awards,
Fuck
and
all that.
someone in front of me turned around and said, "Can you please not clap so loud?"
At that point, I definitely would.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's how I clap.
My favorite thing about local awards, and you can't do it so much. Like we still play the drinking game on the Emmys, the Academy Awards, and all
Sure.
that. It doesn't work as well as the locals. The locals are great. Anytime someone says, "I'd like to thank God," whoever you're with, everyone goes, "Woo!" Anytime God is mentioned, everyone goes, "Woo!" And so you have a row of people, and it starts to be bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden you have half a section. God, woo! And it's like a wave. Like,
yeah, it is like a wave.
We have wrecked this, and then someone from that group comes up like, "God damn, woo!" Like thank Gomez, Gabriel, God, woo! And it's like you get more and more and more people, and it's not even about the show anymore. It's about making people react to God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Woo!
And that person took it so seriously that I was not trying to do something like that. I was not starting a wave. I was clapping for people I knew, and the dude had to turn around and be like, "Hey, you're really ruining my experience at this local award show." Anyway,
Well, his whole thing, his cousin was there winning an award for best supporting lighter.
or not, apparently.
You're an aggressive clapper. I can say from experience.
I am.
You're chewing, you're clapping, and your sense of breathing all wrecks me. I need you to stop breathing, stop clapping, stop chewing.
What are you talking about?
It sucks that he claps when he loves food so much. He's a foodie, but goddamn.
So, as you even mentioned, just out of logic, a logical continuation to this conversation that has been happening, even on the Broadway level, is to show explicitly what our contract is, because it will differ from a very intimate play with no microphones on to a big spectacle that is super run to some improv style. All of them, they want something slightly different from the audience. So now they're making it more explicit. They're showing, hey, this is what we'd love you, if you'd like, to do at our show. But there's always those people who are going to break those rules one way or another. Some explicit, some going into it knowing they're going to break it, some not, right?
Oh yeah, it's like marriage.
Yeah, right. Out of ignorance or privilege, they might do it on purpose. I didn't know that's what they were expecting of me.
I was here only to be able to pull the plug on someone. I didn't know I had to be monogamous. I heard monotonous. I was going to be boring as shit.
Yeah, right.
Fuck everything around me. So I guess that's where we agree, disagree.
Sometimes it's in a form of protest, but usually it's a spur of the moment decision spurred on by alcohol and or other drugs.
Wait, sorry, I was writing a note to myself, and I had to stop when I heard alcohol and other drugs. John, are you holding alcohol or other drugs? It'd be really cool if you were.
Yeah, totally. I've shown both on the show.
Mood swings are brought about by
alcohol
and other drugs.
This big, I know what the rules are, but I'm going to break them. Most of the time, that happens because someone is under a certain influence. They're like, all right, all right.
Horseshit. Horseshit number one. This study was written by interventionist counselors. And I think that we all know they're very suspect. Don't have a lot of friends, go to a lot of gatherings, a lot of people, don't leave with anyone for the night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to go to the bar after a hard night of work? So like just trying to unwind, just wrecked a family. You guys want to hang out? Horrible, John. Also, I feel like the more you talk, the more I feel like this is an intervention. That I've been behaving badly in theaters, and it's because of drugs and alcohol.
No.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
No, you haven't been in a theater in 3 years, so it's fine. So anyway, this happened last week. As a seemingly intoxicated woman went in front of the stage on Broadway and demanded her money back by the actor playing Willie Loman in the current revival of Death of a Salesman. The actor tried to reason with her, even offering her money back, but she wanted to talk more than have the money. So for nearly 10 minutes, the show stopped until she was escorted out by NYPD. They were not in the theater. People literally had to go out to Times Square and find some cops and come back in because no theater on Broadway has cops in there as security. They just have private security.
That's bullshit. That's why we need armed teachers, John. Because if a teacher was in the audience, they would have a gun. Wait. So dumb. Sorry, buddy. No, with that, but yeah, I know at some point, about a minute and a half in, it becomes very real. 2 minutes in, it becomes very real. But at the same time, like, hey, you're Willie Loman. You're a salesman, right? This is new material. Hey, buddy, tell me why you're good enough to be Willie Loman. Right here, right now. Don't break character. Stay in character. Offer her coffee. Have her sit down.
In the video, you can even hear her say, "I saw you on the TV. You were good there."
Not a problem. TV, that's crazy. Heard about that. Man, can you sit down? I'd like to ask you more questions. I feel like this could really help me on my route and my whole life choices of things that I'm going to be doing ahead in Act 2.
You're kind of right. He broke character. He was talking to her, but he was also saying, "Listen, I'm going to get you. I will guarantee to you, you will get your entire money back if you just sit down and watch the rest of the show, or you can leave right now and get your money back. I will guarantee to you." And she went like a more reasonable person. She was so out of it that she couldn't. She's like, no, hold on. I need to complain more as people started heckling and booing her from the audience. She was at the stage. She was up front.
Oh, no, she wasn't on the stage. She was at the stage.
She was at the stage. She was first row. She was walking
John.
around first row. Oh, she didn't get on the stage.
She was, no, on the stage, like, I'd bring her up.
Come on up here.
Yeah. Or come down. Can I get a spot? Like, you're up there. You're still in your high and mighty palace. You're not offering shit. If you walk down and you sell it, come on. Coffee's for closers, John. That's one thing I know. Coffee's for closers.
So another incident, this is a recent one, from The Guardian. Quote, "A drunk woman in the seat next to me is softly caressing my hair as though stroking the ears of a particularly mild-mannered spaniel. It's a strange sensation, but I can't really complain because I'm at the theater. You're not meant to talk. So I just rouse myself to say something. She stumbles. Just as I rouse myself to say something, she stumbles to her feet and lurches her way to the exit. Finally, mutters the woman in front, who made the mistake of asking her to be quiet a few minutes earlier. When my neighbor was dancing in her seat and yelling, 'That's right,' after lines she particularly enjoyed, which resulted in a whispered row. Order is restored, and we settled down once more to watch Frozen, a moving family show about sisterhood and redemption.
Two-sided never bothered me anyway. Come on, John. Here's the deal. I would take Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants over Frozen any day of the week. Elsa, you're a real bitch. Thelma and Louise, we got a Cadillac and we found a cliff. John, can you speed this up?
We're at the end of this.
You're quoting things now.
We're at the end of this one. So the Daily Mail said that seeing an audience member light up Baz Bamigbolf saw an audience member light up a joint at Get Up Stand Up, the Bob Marley jukebox musical. Quote, we were standing outside the bar and the security guards raced past us. I said, what's going on? And they said, a guy's lit up a spliff in the stalls bar. We could actually smell something, and it wasn't a scented candle. I was so British. All right, finally, one theater fan I spoke to took things a step further by taking the recreational drug MDMA at Les Miserables. Quote, I just wanted to enhance my experience of the show, he said, and it was great. I came at the interval and just couldn't stop laughing.
All right, buddy. No, finish it. Like we're at the end of the series. Keep going. Don't pause. Don't pause for laughter. Keep going. We're trying to go. No more quotes. No. Just close it.
Oh, that was actually the end.
All right. That was the end. There we go. It was a tough one. We learned a lot. We laughed. We cried. We saw our weak points. We saw what we need to work on. Jesus Christ.
There was no resolution to that whatsoever, was there?
No, there was zero resolution. There was a bunch of fucking quotes at the end. That quotes, decision on quotes. You're like, I came at intermission and couldn't stop laughing.
Interval, because he's British.
Oh my God.
All right, man. Yeah, so
apologise to all the audience members. Tchaikovsky has been away that only several things do. Talking of which, good morning, my boy Pete.
Good morning, Pumpkin Pie. Oh, you like cannons, do you? I'll show you an overture.
How's it going, John? Pete and John, Pete and Frank. Yeah, bleachers. Wow, I haven't heard that term in a long time. It's got a whole new connotation, doesn't it? With like the advent of bleaching.
Another thing. And another thing, brother, I am such a big fan, and I know you don't tune in early, but I want you to know we are such big fans. We use your intro in the beginning of our show. We're gonna have to send you the link. You don't have to commit to the whole thing. It's a lot to deal with, bro. I know. Folks, if you're watching this here live on the YouTubes, I'd like to apologize. Mea culpa. It only gets better from here. But also, I'm lying. Oh, shit.
No time to retreat. You can't get away because it's John and Pete. Yeah.
Great. God damn it, man. Where have you been? I was worried about you. I said I was a search party. I had them come back because it was very expensive. So it was like 4 hours. They didn't make it past my property line. But I was like, all right, everybody back. Guess we're going to fucking declare it.
It's time to rock. For some fun, tune in to Pete and Cock.
To Pete and Cock. like he said, if you're gonna chop off your L, might as well chop off the rest of mine too. Pete and Cock now. The worst merchandise we've ever sold, folks. But if you order now, you can get a deep cut discount for the Pete and Cock t-shirts. That's horrible. Actually, that's really good. I feel like I'm going to use that on my own prep brand.
And let's
only
do a
fans.
quick OnlyFans for the fans only. Quick shout out to Spawn Band, who's been quite active on our YouTube.
What up, Spondy? My man. What up? It's good to see you, brother. Yeah.
So quick shot there, my boy Pete.
Yeah, I need to figure out my life choices, and it didn't work out, so I'm ready to do a shot. Let's go.
Cheers.
Go. Bink, bink,
Bink,
bink.
bink, bink. Wow. And that's going to lead us into our next lightning round.
Lightning round. It's time to get down. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah.
You know, I haven't said this before, but lightning round guy, you always have that intro going in, and I thought it was just you randomly drunkenly jumping into our show, but I realized you do it with such consistency. Somehow, even though you're drunk, maybe a little high, you do it with such consistency that I have to appreciate you. And I want to say thank you, man.
Setting shit on fire, but also my intros. So, John, I'm glad you noticed that, man. It's a lot of hard work to dream, baby. Woo!
You know, with that intro, you actually do more scripted stuff than my boy Pete. You're number 2 in the show in that regard.
Hold up. Here's the deal. What's the problem? Just hold the fuck up, all right? If anybody who knows anybody who knows anybody knows that I do a lot of real work. Man, you don't do shit. Go back to your closet. John, can I get some backup on this shit?
You are the more scripted than him. That's what I'm gonna say. You have more.
All right, who huffs less paint? John, you cool shit.
Lightning round guy.
Great down, man. You're on his side now. This is bullshit.
I'm just trying to help him out. You know he's in a bad spot.
I know, but that's what halfway houses are for, John.
So this lightning round segment is one of your favorites and mine. That's right. It's accented answers. I'm going to ask my boy Pete some questions and give him an accent in which to answer said question.
Oof. Before you do that, I'd like to say thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone for tuning in to the YouTube channel who's live. If you're watching on stereo, you can click above and listen to us on YouTube. If you can't catch us live on YouTube's, you can also listen to us on YouTube's. Our handle is at Two Sided Pod. That's all lowercase, all one word, Two Sided Pod. We're on Spotify, Apple Pod, Apple Music. We're just basically all over. Like, we're probably in that sticky candy jar at your grandma's house. We've been there. We're probably there now. I don't know. I mean, it's not a weird thing. It's just like we're sticky candy, and you can't get rid of us. We're like luggage or chlamydia. Sorry, Joe. I'm ready back.
Cockney, my boy Pete, are you ready for the question?
Right. Easy deal, Joe. Feel like I am.
Cockney British, and not Australian, Cockney British, my boy Pete. When was the last time you saw a play?
Easy deal, Joe. Fucking it. I want to see those plays. No, that's not Australian. That's super good. Super. Hold on. All right. Here's the deal, John. John. Here's the deal, John.
It's just a different Australian accent. You have like 5
All you can
Australian
hear-
accents.
It's not a knife.
Apples and pears, mate. Apples and pears.
Apples and pears. Right. Oh, here's the deal, John.
Just don't
Fuck
say
you.
right. Just don't say right. I think that's what gets you into it.
No, but that's how.
Right.
Right is always how.
Right.
Right.
Or.
Is a deal. No, because you're thinking.
No. There you go. Keep going with that. Keep going with that.
That's what I'm saying. Right, here's the deal, John. I feel like every time that fuck you. Here's John. Sometimes it hurts.
Used to be one of your best. Yeah. My boy Pete's obsession with Australia is not as much as people might believe, but it's slightly more than people might understand.
It's aggressive. It's like the best shows are there. They don't have guns there. I know you don't have any in the UK either, but like no guns. They have kangaroos. I've always wanted to fist fight a kangaroo. Right.
Do you remember the question? It was, when's the last time you saw a play? They're Cockney British, my boy Pete.
It's just fucking aggressive. John, give me. Okay, I know because Cockney is like.
Oh, give us a snog there, love. Mrs. Lovett.
I Mrs. Lovett. No, see, I can't stop now. Now every time that I'm thinking that, because I'm thinking Mrs. Lovett, and Mrs. Lovett is what I'm thinking of basing Cockney on. Or Rookin, Mrs. Lovett. Oh, Mrs. Lovett. Toby. Oh, Toby.
No one's gonna harm you. Not what I'm
around. No one's gonna harm you. It's been at least 3 years. Though they may come and plays may go, I haven't seen one in that stone throws long time. Last 3 years. I'll always love you, Toby.
Yeah, just add a couple more stops, and then you can.
Here's the deal. I think there's too many headphones on my head. I think that could be the thing. It's like, you have to have one, like a singer, like, ooh. You plug one ear.
Christina Aguilera, right? Yeah.
Yeah, sign me up. Because I'm dirty, like Christina.
All right. I'm going to give that one to you. But anyway, next one. I know you can do this. It's so removed. Russian.
Oh,
my boy Pete. What do you prefer? Plays, musicals, or operas?
Here's the deal, John. Thank you. It's like sniffing coffee when you're smelling perfumes or wines. It really cleanses the palate. It's like a sherbet in between meals, courses, as it were. A good Russian. Sometimes I prefer the movies because it's easy. There's no connection. There's no emotional connection. Oh, you go to play. Listen, now play is different than cinema. Look, oh, talkie. I was very impressed. Lots of lights, lots of sound. You go to play, very little lighting of where I'm feeling. Sound smaller.
I'm sorry, Russian, my boy Pete. I'm just gonna. So the question is, what do you prefer, plays, musicals, or operas?
Yeah, I'm almost getting there.
Okay.
Plays, musicals, or operas. I say, listen, opera, horrible. Very few Russian opera. So German, nobody liked German. For no Italian, also bad. Here, let me tell you more. Musical. It's good. I like to tap on my toe. A tap on my toe. No, I hear you saying things like this. Listen, I talk with hands sometimes. Play is very good. It's very good. I like it a lot. But if you're, what do you say, rinky-dinky one potato theater, I do not like to see musical there. You have Donkey from Plow Pulling singing lead role. No good. Is Phil C it okay, but not very good. So musical. Whole musical. Sometimes I hum a few bars, I tap a toe. Very good.
I thought that was a softball to you. You know
No,
you know that
I
that they
know,
love their operas, right?
I
And Chekhov.
I know, but you asked me. You didn't ask John. Listen, when you're in cherry orchard, sometimes you don't see the branches for the trees, and that is where you have to shoot every insurgent before they tell you you're wrong about the accent. John, what other accent do you want to do? Also, come into my orchard. I will teach you very good things.
All right. Now, like the Russian was thinking he was being asked, but this is actually for the Texan, my boy Pete. Texan, my boy Pete, is there any significance to seeing a good play over a good TV show or movie?
I mean, I'm telling you what, John. Here's the deal. I go to see a movie, right? I can see it anytime. I see it morning, noon, night. There's a mall down here in Austin. 24/7 movies, John. You can go bowling and shit too. It's crazy. But man, I don't feel the emotional connection that I do with plays. I went to New York City, John. Can't believe it. Yeah. My old lady said, you'll love it. I said, I don't know. You like shawarma? I said, I don't know what shawarma is. But we went and saw Husked. It was a corn musical, and so I was like, I fucking love corn, baby. You know that. So we saw corn. I don't want to spoil it for you, man, but the whole ethanol song, Act 2, holy shit. I'm going to go on a limb, John, and say that theater is much better than cinema. It's more of an emotional connection. However, I could only talk to my old lady about it for the rest of the goddamn trip, John. Also, FYI, I love shawarma.
Well, that's fantastic, Texan. Now, finally, I know you've been waiting a while and you really wanted to talk before, but Aussie, my boy Pete, have you ever shouted back or loudly reacted to what was happening on stage?
Here's the deal. I feel like I'm only going to be able to do it fucking coffee now. It's not because of you, John, and I hate everything you stand for. You try to give me parameters and boundaries. You jump those. The grass is greener on the other side of John's fence. It's not that. It's just that I'm a drungo. Right. Oh, back me's the deal, John.
Just think of Akadaka. Every time you say Akadaka, it gets right in there.
Here's the deal, John. Listen to you. Listen to what you said. I don't like the way you said Akadaka. Number one. Went and saw Ladysmith letting balls out. Fucking amazing, right? Sans Paul Simon, amazing. Fucking, I'm a golf vocal man myself. Fucking, I got so moved. I said, "Oh, I can't." Halfway through, fucking turns out everybody else felt the same way. Everybody said, "Oh, I can't." So, pretty good show. Highly recommend it. Also, Team Garfunkel. Right. Oh, you want more, John? You fucking, is that it? Jesus Christ, John. Oi.
So that's
Ain't
it.
that right, John?
That's the only time that you've reacted in a loud manner to any live performance ever, Aussie, my boy Pete.
Fuck no, John. Said the last time. I once set fire to a building. It was a Crocodile Dundee, Part 2, the musical. No reference to that's not a knife, that's a knife. Fucking burn that motherfucker down. Also, we're in the fucking bush. Who's gonna know, right? Fucking, let's go get some mid-strength beers. Fucking talk about it, right? Are you done now? Ain't that right, John?
That's right, my boy Pete, and we struggled through that together. Let's just push
Did
into.
Did we really, John? You were on. Sorry, no. That was the next thing I learned, that we give each other space, and right now your space is fucking needy and open wide like a gaping flesh wound. Sorry.
So you, so my boy Pete has a hard time with anybody on their phone, which I understand. I also do, but he also has to remember that I am now changing the title of our shows as we're going along, and we're going into our final segment, which is
super great, but start it when you ask a goddamn question and type better, you fucking drunk guy.
my boy Pete. We're gonna talk. We're gonna finish this episode with talking about Dolly Parton.
All right, here's the deal, John. I know you're gonna say it, but this is me jumping in. Best little whorehouse in Texas had no nudity. Spoiler alert, as a child, my parents had it on VHS. I watched that movie 5 times. Like, did I miss it? I know what a whore is. I'm positive I do. And then I was like, do I understand linguistics correctly? I should see at least a booby. Like, booby. Or silhouette.
I was expecting some butt action from Clint Eastwood, at least.
I'm just saying. Show me your monkey, Clint. Show me your monkey.
From the homepage of the Dolly Parton website, quote, among Dolly's most cherished childhood memories are the many magical moments spent on the front porch of the Parton family Tennessee mountain home. Whether in the warmth of the afternoon sun or the soft evening breeze, the stage was set on that cherished porch. It was where Dolly, with a tin can as a microphone and the light of a million dancing fireflies, could sing to her heart's content and dream of taking her music to the stages of the world.
Push it. Push it real good. Push it. Push it real good. Dolly, y'all need to stop with that push it. That comes later. Maybe we talk about a lady, maybe a woman who took your man. Irene, whatever. Figure that out. Maybe please don't take my man or my pan. I don't know. Just your mama. Just talking.
Continuing, the front porch page here at dollyparton.com is a place where you will find the stories that are a part of the fabric of one little girl's big dreams, woven into the legacy that is Dolly Parton.
God damn it, John. That's what's going to be the Two-Sided Pod's webpage, is the stories that have woven me into the fabric of the My Boy Pete you know, see, love, and behold before you right now. Give me the link. I'm going to learn the code.
There's continuing, there's a warm welcome waiting on the front porch where family and friends alike are invited to join Dolly inside. End quote. So this is how Dolly Parton welcomes you to her life.
Thing bass. Mama sang tenor. Me and little Jeter just joined right in on Dolly Parton's front porch. Giddy up. Hee-haw.
There you go. Some kind of generic country-esque thing that you threw in there.
Right, no, 100%, John. I'm not paying copyrights. We get searched for this. I'm not paying all the money you want for the real songs. Are you crazy? Are you going to fund that yourself? How much money you're making off those stickers, John? Jesus.
So, in 1974, Parton launched her solo career, in which she enjoyed immediate success. In both 1975 and 76, she was chosen Female Singer of the Year by the Country Music Association, the CMA, on the strength of such songs as Jolene and Love is Like a Butterfly.
I told you, your mama told you Irene was going to be a hit.
Well, in fact, Jolene and I Will Always Love You.
Mama. You never listen to your mama, do you?
Dolly Parton wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You in the same day. About the same time, Parton began to cross over to...
Everybody out there, Sylvester Stallone wrote Rocky 1, 2, and 3 in a week. So, I'm not impressed, John. Hey, yo, what are you going to do? Sometimes you fucking feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you eat the bear, sometimes the bear eats you.
Best of the whorehouse in Texas, I see better.
Come on in, Clint. All right. About the same time, Parton began to cross over to the pop music market, and in 1978, she won a Grammy Award for her song Here You Come Again, and was named Entertainer of the Year by the CMA.
Here you come again on your own. Dolly Parton only owns the only throne. No? I don't know that song.
As her career developed, Parton received more Grammys, both for her songs including 9 to 5 in 1980 and Shine in 2001, for her albums including Trio and with Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris, and The Grass is Blue in 99. Parton was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 99, and she continued to release hit albums, including Blue Smoke, Pure and Simple, and she later released an album for children, I Believe in You, from 2017. In 2022, last year, Dolly Parton was selected for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She earlier asked to be removed from consideration because she did not believe she had earned the right, quote unquote, because she was not a rock performer, but then she accepted the honor when they bestowed it upon her. She was the last person in that. Have you seen that last year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction?
Hold up. You give me a check for what if I get in here? Okay. Dollywood is running on fumes, so sign me up. I did that whole COVID inoculation thing, which really set me back. So I can use the cash. An injection of cash, as one might say.
Okay, dig this. So she was like, I don't know if I deserve this. I don't know why you're honoring me. And they're like, no, we're not going to remove you from consideration. Oh, by the way, you're now an inductee. You're going to be the last one to perform in the 2022 induction ceremony. She's like, okay, cool. So, to feel worthy of this honor, Dolly decided to record a rock album and today, Thursday, May 11th, the day of this recording, she released her first single from the highly anticipated rock album.
No.
The album features collaborations with Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Elton John, Stevie Nicks, Lizzo, and Miley Cyrus, among nearly 40 other big league rockers. Rockstar will drop November 17th. The 30-track album will include 9 original songs and 21 rock covers, including Purple Rain, We Are the Champions, Every Breath You Take, and with Sting, and Let It Be with Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Peter Frampton, and Mick Fleetwood, which means it's the first time that the Beatles of any combination ever have reunited to record a song, ever since their breakup in 1970.
Though you think we're not drunk enough on Thursday night, oh, let me say, two-sided pod, we are drunk enough. It is so. Let it be. Come on, John. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All those people, like it is like what, Hands Across America or the Live Aid where they pull everyone.
Yeah.
From all the genres, like what the fuck? Only Dolly could do it.
That's right.
Dear Lord,
that's what I've been so excited
Dolly
to do this.
Parton so I could be. Dear Lord, make me a Dolly Parton so I can click my heels and fly far, far away from here like Dorothy Gale.
Because you're the only one who can, Dolly. You're the only one who can.
Right? Like when Michael's gone, he was too weird anyway. He was wearing face masks before it was cool.
So
groundbreaking.
So before all that, Dolly Rebecca Parton was born on January 19th, 1946, in Locust Ridge, Tennessee. She was born to a poor farming family, the fourth of 12 children. They were so poor that when she was born,
her father were they?
She was so poor that when she was born,
John. Try it again.
All right. They were so poor. Listening.
How poor were they?
That when she was born, her father was unable to pay the doctor who delivered her, so he gave him a bag of oatmeal instead.
Put him back inside. John. Baby steps to oatmeal success.
So, real quick, aptitude and passion.
No, I don't think I truly don't think there's anything real quick about this. Like, I thought we were done. I thought you were doing a quick highlighted version, but then we were all the way to Hall of Fame, and now we went back to her birth. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't know where we're going. This is the Matrix, and I feel very upset about it. So, not real quick. Just say what you need to say. Let's get through it.
I meant real quick in her life, not in our episode. I meant her life. Quick in her life.
Super great that she was into Beanie Babies. Also, real quick, she liked Parmesan, then also hated it after
her birth.
Jesus Christ.
In her childhood, she had aptitude and passion for music, which she started on the front porch. Going back, call back to the beginning, right?
Not even, John, you can't call back your own callbacks. Hey, everybody, that's a callback. You can't say that. Remember in the beginning? No, put this down. You can't do it. John, Jesus Christ.
She went from there to her family's house to a featured singer and guitarist on local radio and television shows in Knoxville, Tennessee. In 1964, immediately following her high school graduation, she set out to Nashville to pursue a career in music.
which was amazing because in '64 I was under the bleachers at her high school, making out with my girlfriend. Giddy up, remember? Bleachers
On the
callback.
stage. Hey.
This guy, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we apologize for what you're seeing. We apologize for what you're witnessing. We are almost done. I swear to God. Stick with us. It's worth the time. The magic number will be revealed at the end of the show. I have it written down. You think I don't remember?
She became, in Nashville, the protege of the Grand Ole Opry star Porter Wagoner, and who had a TV show. So she had repeated appearances on Wagoner's syndicated television show, and Parton gained coast-to-coast recognition. She attracted the attention of the music industry moguls of RCA, and subsequently recorded more than a dozen hit songs, together with Wagoner, on the RCA label. Loved it, but then she left Wagoner behind for a solo career, and the rest is music history.
And folks, now we've caught up with the timeline that we set up before, and this is what you would call a quantum shift in the fabric of time. Welcome to the two-sided.
So, with her strong feminine stances in the 1960s and 70s, Parton, along with fellow pioneer Loretta Lynn and Tammy Wynette, revolutionized the world of country music for women performers. She took crusade a step further by crossing over into the pop world, landing on the cover of Rolling Stone, achieving pop hits and starring in Hollywood movies. So she's expanding beyond just the country roots, right? Along the way, she did lose much of her core country audience, but her career and her appeal to fans of hard country was far from over. Beginning in 1999, she returned to the music of her youth and began rebuilding a tradition-minded fan base with the series of critically acclaimed bluegrass albums. She is amazing on the banjo. Have you ever seen YouTube Dolly Parton banjo? Just do that. It's amazing.
Yes. Also, if you've seen monkeys writing fours on YouTube, that shit's amazing too, because the different music that's put with it. It makes my heart smile. So John gives you a link, I give you a link too. Two-sided.
All right. She considered herself a songwriter first, even though she was into the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She has written at least 5,000 songs, recorded at least 400 of them, and has been racking up Grammy nominations, 53 of them, winning 10 of them so far. Her repertoire is part of the Library of Congress. I know you believe that we're going to get there. She's someone to emulate, man. It's all about content.
Yeah, no, it is, John. What I need from you is better content. What I need from you is just a focus, like button down, like really fucking batten down the hatches.
All right. We're going the short version.
Go ahead. No, yeah. Oh, we weren't even there yet. Okay, awesome. Let's do the short version.
What do you know about her marriage status?
She called herself more of a writer than a performer, right? I'm more of a lover than a fighter. Doesn't mean I don't do one more than the other. I'm better at one thing than the other, John. You don't think I listen, John? If we don't have time to take a moment off the beaten path, and when we have this time of night, like, John, it's the witching hour. I know people have things to do, places to be, hostages to rescue and or take. John, I know these things because I know who we are, who our friends, family are. We are the Two-Sided Pod. We're here every Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Thursdays specifically live on the YouTubes. And if you can't catch us live on the YouTubes, you can find us on our YouTube channel at Two-Sided. That's also our Twitter handle. That's also Instagram. That's on Spotify. That's on Apple Music and Amazon Prime. No, I almost had it. Anyway, John, we're also on Patreon. Fans only fans, farmers only farmers. So take your pick, roll the dice, just let it be. John, what else you got? I don't know much about her marital status. I know she was married and then wasn't.
Nope. She got married to Carl Dean in 1966 when she was 20 years old. They're still married today. Also,
was he from the
and
Jimmy Dean? Was he a big sausage family guy?
he was not, because they were never able to have children. This is a quote from her. God did allow me to have children, so everybody's children could be mine, Dolly said. To that note, she is Miley Cyrus's godmother.
I know that. But Carl Dean said, well, I wasn't allowed to be in the sausage business. That's why I look at every sausage could be mine. Honey glazed, smoky, hot, crispy, link, patty, ground up in a burrito. Those are delicious. I'm Carl Dean, not of the sausage family.
So now we all know that the biggest trademark look for Dolly is, that's right, her wigs. She's always worn wigs with perfect, beautiful styles because she could never style her real hair. She admitted that teasing it so much early on did serious damage. Another trademark look for hers is her ample bosom and her plastic surgery, and she's proud of it.
Son of a bitch.
Nope, she's proud of it. As she puts it so eloquently, she is quick to spot any features that are sagging, bagging, or dragging, and will not waste time to get it nipped, tucked, or sucked.
Own it. Like, there's no kink
Yeah.
shame in whatever you do. I'm 100% with that. No, you're right. No, like, because I look at Dolly Parton as like in the 80s, 90s, and it was her. And who was the chick who was the not streaker, but she had little shorts. She'd run on baseball fields. Melinda something. She was in Playboy. That's the only reason I know. Saw it in like '88. Oh my god, fantastic! And she likes baseball. I like baseball. Oh my god, I'll probably get married when I turn 12. It'd be great.
I didn't throw this in here, but Dolly Parton was the first country singer to be on Playboy cover, but she wasn't nude. She had a little bunny suit on, and her spread was not pornographic, because
I know.
she's like, this is fun, but I don't want to do that, because she does what she wants. She does what she wants. This is her quote. "This is who I am," she said. "I may look fake, but I'm real where it counts," talking about her plastic surgery.
That's good, man. Like, what a healthy self-image, John. I feel like that's a great image, a great takeaway. It's like, man, it doesn't matter what you do, how you do it, as long as you are okay with it. Like, and you're not hiding it, you're not shamed about it. Here's a choice. I'm faced with these things. I'm doing this. And I love myself and I love my choices. And I'm okay with them. You don't have to love all your choices, but you made them. Like, be okay with them. And that's a tough pill to swallow. That's a tough Dolly to Parton.
So people now consider her as a pioneer of the new wave of feminism before it had a name. Hyperfemininity, not masculine emulating conformity, while still advocating for equal rights and equal pay.
Working 9 to 5, just a way to make a living. Working 9 to 5. I'm saying, John.
Well, Dolly was an advocate for many underrepresented groups. Despite being from the South, she always was going against the grain and was a huge supporter of the LGBTQIA community for all her life. At her amusement park, Dollywood, she created a gay day so that these families could visit the place and celebrate in unison. But when the KKK heard about it, they did not approve of her decision and they took action. She received death threats from the hate group, but she did not let that intimidate her. Uh, Others also, yeah, I'll stop there because, yeah, that's pretty crazy. When I heard that, I was like, holy crap, why? What? Her? Her? You like the things that we don't like, therefore we don't like you.
John, welcome to America. I don't understand how that you're shocked by anything that's ever happened. Like, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You know, like, no, don't get me going. Don't get me going. Keep your head on a swivel, folks. Keep
All right,
your
let's
head
go.
on a swivel, folks.
Let's go the other way.
Yeah, finish this one up.
There are those who are very appreciative. Dolly has made the people of her hometown, Sevierville, I'm not Sevir, Sevierville, Tennessee, very proud. As a token of the town's appreciation, a walking tour with 28 stops has been designed to follow important places in Parton's upbringing. Also, a bronze statue was erected to honor Dolly. It depicts her as a young girl holding a guitar. I saw it. It's pretty cool.
He said erected. Yeah.
Another cause that Dolly has taken up is anti-bullying. After being bullied at school, mostly she talks about because of the ragged clothes that she wore.
Yeah, keep going. Like, it is an intervention. I feel like all the things you're saying about this, like, yeah, okay, keep going, John. I'll give you a fresh one.
She took it upon herself to make sure that children didn't suffer what she did. She started an anti-bullying campaign, and she remembered how hard it was to avoid abuse from her contemporaries in light of her musical talents. Some kids even pushed her into school, locked her in school lockers. Later on in her career, she wrote the song "Coat of Many Colors" as an anthem to tackle bullying and empower the bullied.
I got it. I have to. And red and yellow and green and blue and purple and fuchsia and brown and black and all the bully colors.
But she didn't stop there. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is dedicated to inspiring a love of reading by gifting books free of charge to children from birth to age 5 through funding shared by Dolly Parton and local community partners in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and Republic of Ireland. It started here at home and is now in all those 5 countries and growing. It was inspired by her father's inability to read.
Yeah, well, reading killed my uncle, John. That's why I don't do it.
The program spans across the 5 countries and gives over 2 million free books each month to children around the world.
What about the preteens? Do they get books?
Nah, just up till 5. Up till 5. This is like Dr. Seuss.
How dare you? Oh, now you're ageism? Thanks, Dolly. What have you done for us? I'm 10 years old and I don't know how to read shit.
Well, what she did for the older people is Dolly donated $1 million to Moderna for vaccine research early in 2020, which led to it being one of the most successful COVID vaccines in the United States.
I took that shot, John. I took that shot and I turned red and yellow and blue and green and fuchsia and brown and black. And that's the bully colors.
With all this fame for philanthropy alongside her music career, Dolly has at least one podcast dedicated directly to her. very famous called Dolly Parton's America. Do you know about this? It's not her. She has nothing to do with it as far as the podcast itself. From the
No.
creators, quote, in this intensely divided moment, one of the few things everyone still seems to agree on is Dolly Parton. But why? That simple question leads to a deeply personal, historical, and musical rethinking of one of America's greatest icons. Join us for a 9-episode journey into the Dollyverse, hosted by Jad Ahmedbarad, produced and reported by Shima Oleh. Dolly Parton's America is a production from OSM Audio and WNYC Studios. So they created a podcast. She's on like 2 episodes. They interviewed her, but she has nothing to do with it otherwise.
Yeah, no, I get that, John. Come on, man. Like, this one I'm going to take umbrage with. Come on, man. Have you ever super fanned out? Tell me that Julie Prunes isn't going to do a podcast about the two-sided pod. John, we have
It'll be
nothing to do with it.
bigger than the two-sided
John,
pod.
it's going to be way bigger. Sometimes production means a lot. Anyway,
so she is known.
In conclusion, to wrap up, John,
She's known as the Great Unifier, and this podcast explores why that is. All right, so what is Dolly up to these days? Now that her rock album, this is it. This is a wrap up. Now that her rock album is in the can and set for release in November, well, she's currently hosting right now, as we are talking and recording this episode, the Academy of Country Music Awards right now from the LA Times. It's hard to believe.
I think it probably is over at this point because we're going so fucking long, John. The Great Unifier is death, and we're all going to reach that point if you don't wrap this shit up.
All right, I'll forego all those quotes. She and Garth Brooks didn't really meet, but they're hosting together and they're having a lot of fun. If they are doing it, co-host of the 58th Academy of Country Music Awards from Frisco, Texas, that's on Amazon. So if you want to turn us off and go to that right now, you can. So go, Dolly. That's it.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. You ended all of this stupidity with, if you want to turn us off, go ahead. John, we have 4 viewers. You're going to lose 3 of them because of Dolly and Garth Brooks? He has friends in low places, John. I have friends in low places. That's Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Holy shit, John. 4 a.m. Greenwich, Meanwich sandwich time, Wednesdays and Fridays. Folks, we reach out across, we bridge international gaps, and we apologize for anything that the editors of any of this may have said. No, I know we all learned a lot, and we all regret even more. John, what else do you have to say?
The sources for this episode of Two Sided have been first segment, AndHistorianAboutTown.com, Theater Mania, The Daily Mail, The Folger Library, The Conversation, TheSmithCenter.com, Emily Post, Broadway Direct, TheStage.co.uk, Facebook, and the Etiquette. Second segment, DollyParton.com, Britannica, Country Music Hall of Fame, PensAndPatron.com, The Hollywood Reporter, ImaginationLibrary.com, The Grammys, PBS, LOC.gov, the LA Times, and NPR.
Great, John. My first segment was brought to you by the number 91, the magic number 91. My second segment research was brought to you by the Great Unifier. Death, it's coming to get you. Death.
That's it?
John, I didn't have a lot of time, and I think death trumps all, right? Who cares about any of the words you can't pronounce? I'm coming to get you, says my sponsor.
Well, before we finish this episode, is there anything that you'd like to take a second glance at, a second look, a second thought, a second opinion? This is Pete's Retraction Corner.
Yes, I would like to take a second look at my notes from my meeting I had Saturday at 9 a.m. As previous, because I apparently didn't establish. I said things, I didn't write them down, and then I had hard times getting through. There was a lot of great moments. There's some great things, but as far as the hurry up and hustle, it just, in my mind, in my personal purview, I failed. I went to the Ken Blanchard School of Training. Shout out to Ken Blanchard. I went to ITT Tech. Went to Donald Trump University. Graduated with honors at all of them.
Mm.
It was about meat and wine from him. John, I guess my retraction is all of the things I've done up to this point, John, because I feel like I could have done them better. Nope,
All right.
not life, just a show.
Well, let's have a shot and get out of here. Yeah.
No, we definitely should. At this point, brakes are gone. There's no point in steering, right? So we're going to play the messages. John's going to say all these things, but I need to. Nope, I'm not going to say it. John, hit the button, Max. Let's do a shot. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy. Beep, 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 beep.
Bink, bink, bink.
Cheers, everybody. Hey, you're welcome for listening. Mm. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We have our open chat show live on stereo every Tuesday at our usual start time. So if you want to join us or want to throw some topics out there, email twosidedpod@gmail.com. That's TWO sidedpod@gmail.com. And for those listening live on the stereo app, stick around in this room for a continued chat in the green room right now for our after show wind down. That's a wrap for tonight. I'm John L. Peacock out in Brooklyn, New York.
And I'm my boy Pete in Southern California.
And this was our show. You can eavesdrop wherever you get your podcasts and even join us live, both on our YouTube channel handle at two-sidedpod, TWO sided pod, all one word, and the stereo app every Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, as we talk about the two sides of life, the serious and the fun, here on Two Sided. I love you, Pete.
Love you, John. Like the brother I